We begin with breaking news.
That breaking news in Calaveras County, a man has been arrested in the area where a wildfire ignited. It's now the Gann Fire. Thanks for joining us at noon. I'm Lisa Gonzalez. So arrest logs show Herbert Wayne Smith was arrested Monday, the same day the Gann Fire started. And he was eventually booked into the Calaveras County Jail yesterday. Now, charges against Smith include causing a structure or forest land fire, operating machinery without clearance, and allowing a fire to spread. Records show he has since bailed out. We've reached out to both the Sheriff's Office and Cal Fire. Cal Fire tells KCRA3 more information will be forthcoming, so we'll continue to follow that for you. Now, all of that is happening as crews continue to battle the Gann Fire. Live pictures from Live Copter 3 over the scene. You can see how much smoke this fire continues to put up into the sky. It's now burned more than 9,000 acres, and we have had a wind, a southerly wind, kind of pushing this fire now more towards the north, which has been interesting to watch. They are still trying to gain containment on it. They have gained about 10% containment, which has been great, but this is just a really hilly and mountainous terrain, very steep, and we saw flames racing up the hillside. And you know, that's how fire behaves. It loves to run up the side of a hill, run up the incline. And if you can see right here from Live Copter, we can't get much closer, but there's still a lot of thick smoke in the air. And so that just makes firefighting efforts even harder. We do know homes have burned. We do know they had to cancel classes today, not just because of this and the evacuation orders that remain in place, but also because of the air quality. And look at how high we're having to fly just to get above that inversion layer, just to get above the smoke and to see the blue sky above it. You can see the smoke that we're even seeing on satellite and just how big of an area it is spanning now, a lot of white smoke. Now we want to take you from the sky in this exclusive look to the ground, where you can see there on the left, the mountains engulfed in flames and smoke as crews are trying to contain the spread of this fire. On the right, that's the aftermath, the blackened, charred ground that we're seeing. And there is some good news. Again, containment, they've been able to make progress, is now up to 10%, much better than the 0% we had yesterday. The fire also prompted several evacuation orders, and we want to show you the evacuation map. This is the latest map. In the areas that you see marked in that light red color, that is an area under evacuation orders. That means you need to be gone, leave immediately. Those people, these orders have been in place now for more than 24 hours, and so hopefully they've been gone for a while. The areas in yellow, it's pretty much east of Highway 49. That's the evacuation warning area. That means they want people to be ready to go at a moment's notice. And on the left, you can see the outline of the fire, the area in orange there. That's where the fire is burning. And I did mention the southerly winds that are kind of pushing that fire up to the north. See that little point at the very top of that evacuation order map? That's where we're seeing the fire is kind of going northerly. So this is what they're telling, officials are telling people who live in this area right now. If you're in the red area, the pink zone, get out now. If you're in the yellow area, be ready to go. An evacuation shelter open at the Valley Springs Veterans Memorial Community Center for people and small pets displaced by the fire. The Calaveras County Fairgrounds and Angels Camp is letting people bring in their livestock. And we now want to get over to meteorologist Ophelia Young, tracking the fire conditions and the weather conditions that firefighters are seeing today.
Yeah, Lisa, the winds are shifting not only at the surface, but also aloft as well. So the smoke was shifting to the north. It's been drifting to the north thanks to the winds out of the south aloft. But at the surface, this evacuation, the geography of the evacuation zone should give you an idea of how the weather is playing into the growth of the fire, the forecasted growth of the fire at the surface, at least. It's mainly to the east and the south, and that is because the winds at the surface are coming out of the northwest. They are expected to pick up later this afternoon and turn into breezes, and later on this evening could even gust up to 20 miles per hour before backing down tonight, giving firefighters another opportunity to really tame those flames. But right now, we did have some more favorable weather conditions in the morning. They are gradually deteriorating. Temperatures are back up in the 80s, humidity back down into the 30s, and the winds, while they're still on the lighter side, they have been slowly picking up, and now we have gusts in that area about 14 14 miles per hour. Another thing that firefighters, as you mentioned, Lisa, are battling is the terrain. We have some hills and some steep hills in that area. Not only does it make it more complicated for firefighters to control the flames, but the air and the heat and also the flames tend to rise, leaning into the hills and setting the higher terrain on fire. Now, looking ahead, the winds will stay light these next few days, but the grasses continue to dry out. The air continues to dry out and the heat will build. All of these things will make conditions more challenging for firefighters. So I think for many reasons, we are hoping that firefighters put out that burn as early as possible. Lisa, back to you.
Absolutely, Ophelia. Thank you. We'll check back in with you in a little bit. Now, fire crews are rushing to contain the fire. KCRA 3's Melanie Wingo joins us now from the ground with the newest information.
Another busy day for fire crews on the lines of the Gann Fire. They worked overnight and into the early morning hours trying to strengthen those containment lines, and they are gaining ground, but not before areas like this one suffered from damage and destruction. Foothills aglow overnight at the scene of the Gann Fire, the well-established wildfire in steep Calaveras County terrain above New Hogan Lake, combined with a firing operation set by ground crews, making for a show across the foothills that included leaping flames, thick looming smoke, and fire whirls.
There's winds that come in all different directions from the different topography, the mountains that are around, the valley, wind coming from there, off of the lakes and things like that. So that can kind of cause some turbulence in the air.
On another flank of the fire scene, one the Gann Fire tore through on Tuesday. Damage will soon be assessed by teams tasked with accounting for every structure in the fire's burn area.
And they will start working their way into those areas of the fire that are safer, and then work to those other areas that have had fire more recently as they become safe.
Evacuation orders still in place in spots near active flames and even parts of the county the fire already made its way through. And that's all for good reason, according to Cal Fire.
There are burning trees that could come down, hot spots that individuals could step in and get burned. So basically, those are some of the fire pieces where we go through and we have to deem it safe. And then along with that, county roads will come through and make sure the roads are safe. The utility companies will come through and make sure the power lines are safe. The gas company will come in and make sure propane tanks are secured. There's so many things that go into it. We are not keeping folks out of their home for any reason other than safety.
And as more crews and resources head to the fire zone, Cal Fire is working so that it's only a matter of time before the community can work toward rebuilding or trying to get back to normal. As for what's next, Cal Fire says do expect that the acreage numbers on this fire may increase in the coming hours. That's because they're using some firing operations, some controlled burns to try to build those containment lines, and that in turn bumps up the acreage numbers on the fire. So don't be alarmed. They do expect those numbers to go up. Reporting from Calaveras County, Melanie Wingo, KCRA 3 News.
Yeah, and that's great perspective on those numbers. Make sure you're not alarmed by that. They definitely know what they're doing when they're trying to gain containment, and sometimes they burn areas so that the fire doesn't go that way, because the fire can't burn twice in the same area, and depending on the winds, it's all very exact science. Now, the wildfire, unfortunately, is impacting our air quality across Calaveras County. Because of that, as I mentioned, the schools in Calaveras Unified are closed today. Superintendent is concerned about the health impacts from all that smoke we're seeing. We spoke with people in Valley Springs about the air quality, and some say they're having a tough time breathing, especially with the heat.
It's bad. The smoke is bad. My throat hurts from it, you know. So I try to stay out of it, but it's bad.
We just saw like in the sky, like getting gray and all the ashes all around, and we were like, oh, what is going on?
The school district says it'll go day by day, determining if it will keep schools closed. So we want to go back to meteorologist Ophelia Young with a look at the air quality out there, especially for people that already are sensitive with breathing problems.
Yeah, it's a good day to stay indoors. Lisa, that smoke drifting as far north and over the summits into the Tahoe Basin. Lake Tahoe is one of the areas that are seeing some moderate air quality. In fact, moderate to unhealthy, according to sensors along the shore. The worst air quality, of course, is in the the foothills where the smoke has been drifting north along the mother lode, but we even have some moderate air across the rest of Northern California. And that is because our region is getting smoke not just from the Gann Fire, but also from fires burning in Oregon because of the flow and the direction of our winds. It is dragging down that smoke past the Pacific, higher up in the atmosphere, and then wrapping it back into the Bay Area and dropping it into interior California. So that's where Western California is getting smoke, but eastern half of California in our region is getting smoke from the Gann Fire, which this forecast model is showing some confidence that by tomorrow evening the winds should shift to flowing more out of the north, pushing a lot of that smoke into the southern Sierra instead, which is good news for those who are under thick smoke in the northern Sierra right now, including the Tahoe Basin. But up until then, air quality is going to remain moderate in the valley, up to unhealthy in areas of the foothills and the Sierra. It's a good time to stay indoors if you can. Run the filters and the fan in your home to filter out the particulate matter. And if you are unsure what your air quality is, you can always check airnow.gov to look up the local air quality in your area. Lisa.
All right, thank you so much. And now we want to go back to Live Copter 3 for an exclusive view. And you can see they've got some fire engines out there, tenders, and they are fighting this fire on the ground. You can see some crews there at the top of your screen, the hoses that they have out there, and also some burned areas. So it's hard to tell if this was a property. If we zoom out, maybe it looks like that is some sort of a structure. It looks like that's some sort of a cement walkway. It does look like there is some damage there. I hate to see all of this destruction. We know several homes have already burned. We know that just from our crews being there, and it looks like that property also may have burned. We don't know though if that's a property we already saw yesterday. Hard to tell from this vantage point, but this is really the best way we can show you exactly what's happening on the ground, especially because homeowners are not allowed to go back yet because for their own safety, obviously, because they are fighting this very active fire. A lot of charred ground though around what looks like maybe was a property. You could tell just by the roads that it was leading up to this area and that there was some sort of a walkway up to the front. I can see another structure that seems to be standing there on the right. That's great to be able to see that, but a lot of blackened ground around it. And it is, I'll never understand fire activity and which homes it chooses to burn and which homes survive. It's hard to understand. So many factors go into it depending on the topography, the elevation, what happens with the winds at that time, and even just the winds that are being created within the fire itself. Up on the top left, you can see the pink on the ground, the retardant lines that they laid down from the fixed-wing aircraft and just trying to slow down the spread of the fire. It looks like it worked right there. You don't see much area burned past that pink line there. So that's great to be able to see that. This fire now, the estimate is at 9,363. And as Melanie Wingo mentioned, don't be alarmed if the numbers seem to jump. That's just because they were doing some very coordinated burning efforts to try and increase containment.